Hello everyone and welcome back to Oxventure presents Blades in the Dark. I'm Luke and I'm joined by the whole ruddy bloody gang. Look at them all. There they are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Sound off.
I'm Barnaby, the Butcher, Fortescue III. You all know my name, because I loudly announce it every time I enter a room.
I'm Edvard Lumiere, the incredible inventor. Inventions have been a bit slow lately. Inspiration hasn't really struck. What about this? I call it the chance cube. You throw it to determine outcomes. I invented it. Anyone else who says they did is lying.
I'm Zilla, the hired muscle. I say hired, I assume I'll get paid at some point.
I'm Lilith Capellanaga, and I like chatting to ghosts.
my name's Casimir Jones, career criminal and licensed babysitter.
It's good
That's
that
a hard license. Yeah, it's a hard license to get.
Yeah.
You did all those tests?
I did, yeah. It's not easy work.
It's not. No, it's impressive work, old man.
Yeah, there's all sorts of trials. Don't drop the baby. Put the baby down where it needs to be put down.
Don't kill the baby.
Don't kill the baby.
The final trial.
Oh no, the baby's crying. Negotiate your way out of this one, tough guy.
What's the pass rate? What's the percentage?
It's not high. It's,
Most people fall down on the kill the baby part.
well, you know what? Most people fall down on the most important step, which is, of course, bribe the invigilator.
Yes.
Look,
yes.
I'm not saying I did drop the baby. What I'm saying is that I am licensed, and well, once you got the certificate, then
Can't stop
that's
you.
it.
I am physically in possession of the certificate. So.
Exactly.
All right.
I didn't drop the baby.
Moving breezily on from infanticide. Well done. I just asked for your names. I don't think we have time to do downtime for everybody. So what I've asked everyone to do is to roll their downtime in their own damn time and sum up for us. So let's start with Barnaby. What's Barnaby briefly been up to since we last saw him?
We've had homework.
We've had quite a lot of heat recently, so I thought I'd bribe an official to reduce our heat. And I rolled a 5, which reduces 2 heat from
Brilliant.
our 6, I believe we had.
Yep. Now down to 4. Tremendous work.
And then I decided to reduce some stress, and I overindulged as usual, and bragged to everyone about the fact that I'd bribed an official to reduce heat, thus gaining 2 heat for net zero.
He's achieved net zero, everyone.
That's actually an improvement. So great. Tremendous. Lilith, you next. What have you been up to?
Well, I still had kind of a smashed up body, so I decided to go get myself fixed up. Yeah.
We've all got smashed up bodies in our attics and basements. You know.
So I went and healed myself up, went and got some self-care, did some self-care, and now I'm all healed up because I rolled a 6 and a 4 that got me through quite nicely. And then also I was a little bit stressed, so I decided to go and see an interesting play, and I really enjoyed it, and now I took 3 less stress because of it, and seeing Barnaby's failure, I decided to also try and lose us some heat by chatting to one of my ghost chatting pals and trying to get some ghosts to do some things, all that kind of opera stuff. It was ghosts. So yeah, that's hopefully calmed things down a little bit.
Well, did you? How much heat did you reduce?
I rolled a 4, so whatever that translates to.
Are you going to make me look that up, are you?
So, you tell me, Luke.
All right, none of you understand homework. You want to see homework? I've got a Google Doc to show you. Okay, right. Reduce heat. So you rolled a 4. 2.
Yeah, 2.
Heat.
Yay, I did.
Nice one. Okay.
I was like,
Zilla,
I think
what have you been up
it's
to?
2, I'm not sure.
Well, as you remember, I was very stressed and anxious and traumatized after having nearly been eaten by a demon, is my memory of it. It's hazy.
Yeah.
So I went and found the filthiest dive bar? Do we call them dive bars in sort of pseudo-Victorian times?
Tavern of disrepute.
A filthy pub of disrepute.
Of ill repute.
And picked a fight, and it was great. And it was, very, very rejuvenating. And I removed stress, and I now have 2 stress.
Great. Feeling easy breezy.
Yeah, it's the most relaxed I've been in ages.
I love it. How about you, Edvard?
I wanted to reduce stress, but I only rolled 1. So what happened was I went to consult a mystic from the far reaches of the continent who said they had the secret knowledge of the world beyond ours. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. That sounds very mysterious and occult. I can't wait. And then I got there, and it was just Casimir in a hat.
Holding a baby.
But great news. That means that I was with you while you were reducing stress, so thanks to my functioning vice, you can actually punch up your stress reduction by 2.
Hey!
Oh,
Fantastic news. I mean, I don't know why you thought I would fall for it, old man. It was literally you in a hat, in a fancy hat. I mean, the hat did look like it was from the far reaches of the continent, so
Look,
fair play on that front.
My functioning vice, when I reduce stress, what I'm doing is I'm sat there with my legs stretched out, with a hot pack in one hand and a cold pack in the other, alternating on my knee. It gets a little dull. So sometimes I spice things up a bit by putting on a hat.
With a hat.
And
which
try
is,
to defraud your friends.
well,
I see.
why not?
My other downtime activity, it was just putting some time into my long-term project, which is teaching the wonderful mechanical man how to love.
Oh,
How
your
to
make-out
love.
doll.
It's not a make-out doll. I'm trying to put emotions so that it can understand the human experience. It's not a make-out
Emotions
doll.
like love.
Yes, emotions like love. Platonic love for one's creator.
It's emotional love, not physical pleasure that you're...
Yes, Barnaby, so leave it alone, all right? I've seen what you do down there in the cellar. Takes me all morning to get it back to how it was.
Casimir, what have you been up to?
Well, I reduced my stress to 0 by
brilliant.
putting on a hat and defrauding some people, and then I acquired an asset because I still have a level 2 harm on being curse blasted in my very soul, but a healing clock is a difficult thing to fill. So I thought, stuff that. I'm going to acquire 2 large goats.
Okay.
You know the goats that pull everything round.
Yeah.
Grabbed a couple of those. Fun story. Used to train them to race when I was with the Lampblacks. So I went back to the old training grounds, put them through their paces. They've eaten nothing but red meat all week. They're feeling rambunctious, and they're in a fine fettle.
All right.
Nice damp
Okay.
noses, glossy coats. Just giant goat stuff.
Just great. Just 2 great goats.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so Casimir has 2 large goats,
Massive goats, yeah.
but is, other than that, I think it would be fair to say, pretty banged up physically. You're in a pretty bad way, aren't you?
I -1 die on every single roll I make.
All right. So protect
Nice.
Casimir is the watchword today, or don't protect Casimir. It's your
Protect Barnaby. Always protect Barnaby. I'm very important.
He was fully healed at the end of the last one.
That's our APB.
Yeah, damn it, you beat me to it.
Just so everyone knows, Barnaby was supernaturally healed by a demon.
He's never been healthier.
He's
Yes.
never been better.
But we don't know what might happen, so I think, just to be sure, we should all protect Barnaby.
I thought your coat was looking glossy and your nose was looking extra damp. You're in fine fettle.
I am
Okay.
the goat, after all.
Oh.
Another piece of
Stay out of my science
admin
basement.
before we kick off. We have had several Ghost and Casimir related complications hanging over us from past scores that I would like to wrap up. So I'm basically going to bundle them all together. Casimir, do you remember that time that you flew a hot air balloon quite close to the ghost field over the sea?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, since then, you didn't know what it was, but it's becoming slightly more insistent. You felt just a subtle pressure on your shoulder and an occasional ruffling sound.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I the problem child this season? Am I the problem in the gang?
No.
Sorry, carry on.
You're not. You're the star pupil. All right, so folks, since the last time you all gathered together, your quest to unmask the secret society, who you now know call themselves the Brighteners, the ones that killed off magic in the world, has actually made some fairly terrific strides, so well done. Most recently, Zilla and Barnaby, you secured an old diary from old Uncle Monty Fortescue, which shone a little bit of light on the history of the mysterious Brightener group, and it made mention of something called the Barricade. So since then, Eleanor, Your patron, whose house you all live in, has been fervently digging for further clues and has now gathered you once more in the exposition room to reveal her findings. As you all stand round a big table in her exposition room, she has a wild look in her eyes. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. And she says, Good, you're all here. Welcome. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, pretty much, apart from Casimir. Right, old man? I give him a slap on the back.
Oh, excuse me a moment. I'm going to sit down.
As you can see.
Is that blood? Take care of yourself, Casimir.
Yeah,
Eleanor
don't
launches
worry about
into
it.
her next sentence. She's clearly, she asked how you were all feeling, but she's clearly focused very, very intently on what she's about to deliver. Look. This is old Uncle Monty's diary, which you two stole, Barnaby and Zilla. Look, I've been going through
Inherited. He's family. It's inheriting when it's family.
He didn't
yes,
die.
yes.
Yeah, but why wait?
Inherited early.
Yeah. You'd have had to have given 30% of that diary to tax.
Yes, and we're
Yeah,
not
it does
having
make
that,
sense.
are we?
To die.
The diary was placed in a trust. Yes, look, so I've been going back through the diary a long way back, and it goes a long way back. But look, Uncle Monty used to keep a fairly full social calendar. Look, every day, almost every hour, some commitment or other, some social function. But here, I found this entry. Look, it says, barricade renovation approvals, and then nothing for 3 whole days. How to explain the absence? Well, she starts pacing. It got me thinking, what if this barricade isn't in Volisport, but requires travel? Hence, the absence. And then she pulls out another big book. Bonk! It's called Oscillatronic Marvels of the New Age. It's very, very old and dusty. Dust goes poof, and all the other papers fly off the table. And she flips it open to a chapter called Erasmus Astor, wherein there is a double-paged map showing... Lilith, you recognise this from your travels around the continents as a very, very early version of the rail networks that run across the arid, ghost-filled Deathlands, as you will all doubtless remember because you live there. In this world, cities are guarded by ghost fields, but outside of the actual cities, everything is just a sort of arid, ghost-filled, ashen hellscape, basically, that's very, very dangerous. And the trains running between them are like the only sort of safe way to travel and trade. Anyway, Eleanor points to this kind of very, very early old map of Astor's kind of first railway lines. And she points to this one line that branches off from the Volisport line, and she says, this branch was constructed with the first railways, but was shut down and dismantled a year later. It runs here to the foot of this mountain range, and it's weird because there's basically nothing there. There's just an old cave system. The story went that they explored it looking for mining materials, found nothing, and so shut down the line. But what if the line wasn't really ever shut down or dismantled at all, and it's still there, and whatever is out there at the end of this train line is something to do with the Brighteners?
Yes. What if that? What if that, though?
Gang.
Do you think
Yes.
that's where the barricade is? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think it's our best lead.
And
I
what
think we
is
should
the
get out-
barricade? Forgive me.
How the hell should I know?
Well, what is it a barricade against?
Well, presumably it's a barricade that is preventing the magic from entering the world.
A magical barricade. An
So if we were to
anti-magic barricade.
If we were to destroy it,
Ghost.
Magic.
might come back into the world, which sounds dreadful if you ask me.
It could be this. She pulls out. Edvard, do you remember you've been studying it, but do you remember you looted from Astor's safe some very, very old blueprints, and there was one of a very, very, very high, several stories high circular structure. She, brings that out, slaps it down on a table.
Some kind of Stargate.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
Some kind of Stargate. I don't know, but it's our best lead. The only problem is, if we want to get out there and take a look, well,
Yeah.
we're going to need our own train.
I'm sure that can
Or-
be arranged.
One of those little trolleys with the handle.
But then the
Hasn't
ghosts
it?
will get us.
Could whip up one of
Yeah.
those.
It's a long, long way out. We're talking at least 24 hours on a very fast train.
And the ghosts will get us.
Oh yes, and the ghosts will say, "Oh no,
Yeah.
ghosts are inside the city. Outside the city, it's horrors."
Horrors, sorry.
horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well,
that
are
doesn't
they
matter.
they better than ghosts?
And then
They
you
might
have
be.
scavengers, and
Maybe
of
it's
course,
just a name.
and of course the fact that trains regularly travel along the tracks, so your little hand pump thing would certainly be smashed to bits.
Okay, so let's call it Plan B for now.
Yeah. Casimir, do you think it's time to call in a favour?
To be honest with you, I'm thinking it's time to call it a day and go on. Maybe it's the Soul Blast talking, but I don't feel great about this. This barricade nonsense feels like a big if, and between us and that if is, about 24 hours of fast train travel past a buttload of horrors. Mm-hmm. But I suspect that's not really what you were asking, so I'm going to say yes, favour.
Remember our little pals down at the trains who we helped out, and they were
Oh, those
little-
urchins.
little urchins,
Yeah.
The gut cutters.
little gut cutters. Yeah.
They don't. No, not little gut cutters.
Well,
So they're just.
I call them that
they're
in my
just-
mind.
Okay, make sure it's just in your mind. 'cause
It's
I don't think
only
they'd
in my
like it.
mind.
They can't stop you doing it in your mind.
Yeah, I'm licensed to go talk to them now, so...
Yeah, Bard.
Barnaby, does your family not have some sort of private train carriage
We have a carriage, yes. Yeah, first class carriage.
and a
it's wonderful.
locomotive?
The locomotives we have to rent, but that shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I'm sure it can be arranged, but I will be having my carriage connected. Yeah, it's very important. It's got all my luxuries.
It sounds like you'll be able to travel in great comfort, which is some relief. Casimir, what you were saying earlier about how hard this sounds and how it's like a lot of ifs and stuff like that. While you were saying those very reasonable things, some of the others you might have noticed Eleanor just slightly narrowing her eyes at Casimir, and she asks, Casimir, we had a deal. You're not wavering, are you?
Look, the spirit is... Well, actually, no, it's the body that's willing. It's the spirit that's all beaten up and bloodied. I'm
Good.
getting old, mate.
All right.
Forgive me for not clicking my heels together and saying, whoop-de-doo, we're going out into the Deathlands.
Sorry, perhaps I've been pushing you all a little hard. It's just that what we're doing is so very important, you know. And this is the greatest chance that I've had in years. We have an opportunity to stamp them out. But you're right. You're right. We'll take it slow. We'll make sure that you're okay, that you're comfortable. Your comfort and safety is, of course, my priority. Anyway, Lilith, you were saying you might know some...
Yeah. We did some work with the gut cutters. And
Murder children, you might call them.
Yes, yeah. And alongside their inclination to stab up anyone who gets on
Yeah.
their bad side,
It's
they're
not just a
also-
name.
Yeah, we did some work for them. We helped them out. We stopped them getting kicked out their train yard and things like that. So we
They owe
might
us
be
a
able to
favour?
procure a locomotive of some kind from their train yard.
Wonderful.
Let's smash cut us all to the Coleridge train yard. Now, Casimir and Lilith, you're the only ones who've been here before, but it's the Coleridge station. It's still in use, mostly used for like kind of moving freight in and out of Volisport. It's way sort of underserved like recently because there's a big new fancy train station, Gaddock rail station, which has basically been, you know, it's much bigger, it's much newer, it's fresher, it's more successful. But the gut cutters are quite happy to live in this disused train yard. They live in a kind of wonky carriage basically that's kind of been tipped over, and that's their kind of home and place of business. They make a living basically like stealing freight or purloining things that come in and out of the station, and, you know, running several other vice, gambling, what have you, criminal enterprises out there. So you're in the kind of lopsided train carriage here. The whole gang is here, but Lilith and Casimir, I'm guessing you're up front. Mm-hmm. The gut cutters are kind of idling around in this train carriage. They're all pretty young kids, mostly like playing with knives, some of them doing some five-finger fillet. And sat behind the desk is their leader, who you both recognise. Oh, he's sprang up. Little bug. He has just sprang up. At this age, you know, he's probably at least 3.5 feet high now, bless him.
Respect.
He's sat behind this desk with his boots up on the table, smoking the biggest cigar you've ever seen.
Oi, oi, Bug. Last time I saw you, you were charging into a crowd of, well, people we'd asked you to cut.
Casimir! What a treat! I'm pretty sure that was the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts a cigar in his mouth and extends a tiny hand for a handshake. What brings you all here? These must be your friends.
Indeed. I believe you were briefly acquainted.
Hello. I'm holding packs of biscuits and puzzle books for everyone because I know we're going on a long train journey.
Morning. I'm trying not to touch any surface in here whatsoever.
You say that out loud?
Yes.
Great.
He shoots you a look. Barnaby, but it's all right. He's more interested in knowing who's this. And who are you? He looks at you, Zilla. And you are?
Oh, me, I'm Zilla. I'm the muscle.
Bug stands up and bows very, very low. Enchanted, my lady, to make your acquaintance.
Someone's got a crush.
Pat him on the head.
Yeah.
Awkwardly.
He blushes furiously. How can we help? You need someone killed? Mumbles, I think they need someone killed.
Yeah. No, we don't need anyone killed today. Although, sort of an aside to Zilla, I go, how did you do that? I've never seen anyone pat him on the head without losing at least one finger.
I don't know. I guess I'm just gifted with children.
All right. Just come. Basically, I want to beckon Zilla closer so we're like shoulder to shoulder while I ask this favour.
Oh, yeah.
Now listen, buddy. Got a favour to ask you. I'm not going to lie, this one's pretty big.
He's blowing smoke rings. He's blowing a little teddy bear through the...
We're planning a little excursion into, the Deathlands, mate.
Bloody hell.
I know.
Well, you're bold, I'll give you that.
Thanks. Listen, we've got a carriage all ready to go, thanks to his nibs over here, but we need a loco.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I realise this might be compromising for you lot, given where you live and everything, but we figured if there's anyone who knows how to get their hands on one, well, it'd be the gut cutters.
Well, Casimir, as you know, we owe you a favour. And we keep our promises, don't we, Mumbles? Mumbles is here as well. She just, she just nods. Mm-hmm, yeah, keep promises. Well, it's like this. Stealing a train. Well, I'll tell you this. Storage, no problem. Steal it, we'll store it. We've got sheds here. You can pop a train in there. No one will know it's in there. We guard them. We bribe the officials. Storage is no problem. Stealing, though. Well, the train gets boosted anywhere in town. A lot of people are going to know. A lot of people are going to come looking. But here's what I'm thinking, Casimir. Out there in the Deathlands, accidents happen. If something happens or a train goes missing, en route, you understand me? Well, that could be made to look like pure bad luck, innit? A train goes missing, everyone's suspicious. A train derails, is attacked by horrors, or meets some other misfortune out there in the Deathlands. Well, as I say, that's just bad luck.
Bad luck.
So that would be my suggestion. And we would be more than happy to help.
Are there any scheduled trains to and from these regions, these parts? Is there a likely candidate for an accident?
Well, in and near Outer Coleridge, as you know, it's mostly freight. I would say that's not a bad bet because fewer witnesses. You have to. No passengers, I mean. The Imperial City. To and from the Imperial City, yeah. Freight trains go several times a day, yeah.
So if a train arrived here, it could be reported that it went missing.
Well,
somewhere en route. Is that what you're saying? And then
yes.
we could take it.
Well, I'm thinking a train going out of Coleridge. That's on the books. That's legit. something happens to it once you're out there, then, and this is the bit you might need to be a bit creative with, we make it look as if it's been destroyed, we pop it in reverse, we bring it right back. We'll have to be quick, obviously, because we only have a few hours till another train comes through on the same tracks. But if you can bring it back in a way that looks legit, maybe disguise it, maybe change the plates, maybe some bribery, well, yeah, then we'll hide it.
Is there a sidings nearby?
Yeah. And as I say, we have control of this whole area. Storage, no problem.
So the problem we might have is that the train company will wonder what has happened to their train, and they'll send people out to investigate, and if they don't see a broken train, they'll know that something rum is ado. But what if there was some sort of if there were a bridge over water on the route, we could destroy the bridge, and then it would seem as if the train had careened over the edge and into the water, and that would be much harder for them to visually confirm the lack of train. They would just assume that the train was at the bottom of the river.
Yeah! And a nice big delay. They'll be more fussed about fixing that bridge than they will about whatever happened to their train.
And that's not a bridge we need to get to the barricade.
We need
That's
to
We
a
have
don't want to
different...
lock ourselves in.
We need to have the train over the bridge. Also,
No, because we need to bring the train back to the
we
train
do need
yard.
yes, we do need to
Stash
stand
it.
back.
I'm trying to get a sense of where the trains go. This bridge, it won't be essential for us to get across it.
Yeah.
I've slacked you all a map of the railways.
Yeah, map.
And you can see that little line heading off to the mountains around Wintercliff.
Wintercliff.
Yes, is that
That's
the
where we
spa
wanna go.
we need?
That is the railway that Eleanor suspects is still there. So if you were to intercept a train that was, headed to the Imperial City, blow up a bridge and bring it back, that would not actually affect the line. That train will be heading out southwest, whereas when you head out for your ultimate destination, that'll be to the southeast along the other line. So yeah.
We could use the. I'm wondering.
Go on, Barnaby. Use your words.
I was just wondering whether we could use the train to shunt some of the carriages off the bridge as well.
Oh, yeah. Lose some of the carriages in the water and not the engine.
Yeah.
Well, let me
And
take-
then, yeah.
I bought a book of maps to study when we took our long train journey, along with the puzzle books and the crosswords, of course. They're for everyone as well. Feel free to take a puzzle book if you want. This one's particularly good.
Mumbles is
So,
already inexpertly colouring in.
Yeah.
Ah,
She's
This
drawing,
one you have to
she's
spot the
drawing
differences
a big
between the
red
two pictures.
cloud coming out of the neck of a blue coat.
Yeah, there you go. That's the spirit. Anyway, I bought a big book of maps, so I could study where we were on the journey, because I'm interested. But yeah, let's lay this out and see if we can find a river where the tracks cross, where it seems like this would be a good spot for us to do this.
Well, you spread it out. Rivers, running water, and other idyllic things like that. There's not a lot of that in the Deathlands, but there certainly used to be, and so there are caverns and canyons that once ran over lush valleys, now just arid, Wile E. Coyote style, kind of long drops down to nothing but ash and bad vibes. But yes, there are several bridged sections along the railway that seem perfect to what you're thinking. Bug is sort of studying this as well, and he just pipes up. Just one thought. Great idea. Pushing all the carriages over as well. I know we owe you a favour, but it's a big risk heading out in the Deathlands, and we would like to get our beak wet a little.
Oh, you got to get your beak wet.
You've got to get your beak wet. So maybe
Nobody wants a dry beak.
Nobody wants a dry beak, so maybe not all of the freight. Maybe
Goes
some of the
over,
freight
right.
comes back, and that's our share. The loco,
Right.
all yours, all yours.
Okay,
Sounds
understand.
reasonable.
Sounds
Because-
reasonable.
I'll be honest. Now, forgive me, but I was wondering why we would need to bring the train back at all. Far be it from me to poo-poo a first-class carriage, with all of its fine selection of whiskies, etc., on board, but if a train's going out from this station and meeting some, shall we say, unexpected cargo, what's to stop us from just going straight to our destination anyway? If the answer is because you want the freight, that's fine by me, mate. But it just seems to me maybe a little bit quicker to just slum it a little bit and go straight now.
What does slumming it mean?
All right, imagine
This isn't going to go over well.
Okay, imagine this den here. We're on wheels, and we're attached to a train.
Right.
So just by sort of staying in a place like this, we got to our destination.
I'm not sure if I could do any puzzle books without a sort of flat surface to
Or
work on, though.
maybe not.
That. I shouldn't have said anything. Forgive me.
You need rest, Casimir. You're not yourself. I think
I spit
you're
a
raving.
lot of
You're
blood
ranting and
onto the
raving.
floor.
Ah.
Sorry.
Also,
You're
we'd
right.
have to reverse it. We're going southwest towards the Imperial City, and we need to go back through Volisport and out southeast towards the barricade. So
I would also
I
add
mean-
that while this kind of line between the Imperial City and Duskfold kind of going around this way is like mainly used by freight and stuff, and so like it's a bit lighter in terms of guards and people. The train line that you'll ultimately need to take is heavily guarded. Lots of like ticket inspection, lots of accounting for passengers, lots of security.
Fair enough. All right. First class it is.
First class.
But first, train heist.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that should be pretty straightforward. We just need to get out there somehow and affix some sort of explosive to the structural supports of the bridge, and then
Well, we're gonna get out there on the
Monty's
train,
your
aren't
uncle.
we? We're gonna hide. We're gonna hitch a
hide
ride
on
on
the
the
train.
train itself, and then destroy the bridge from on the train.
sounds good.
All right.
We need explosives, though.
We need explosives,
yeah.
though.
Let's do a little bit of planning. I feel like we're getting close to the engagement roll. But, yeah, a little bit of planning beforehand might be a good idea. You might want to think about Deathlands survival in terms of just being out there and exposed to those elements.
Has anyone been to the Deathlands before? I've not. Are they nice?
They're not the greatest.
Can't you
Take
just
it.
speak
What
to your
are horrors
ghost friends
like?
and ask them to leave us alone?
Take a hat,
What?
maybe?
Are horrors like spirits, or are they big monsters?
Well, Zilla, the book doesn't specify. Horrors. So let's say.
Let's say they're nice.
Horrors are
If
fundamentally.
it doesn't specify.
Horrors
Fundamentally
are.
nice guys.
Horrors are
just a
essentially
name.
ghosts. Like they are spirits, but they
okay.
are
Okay.
Big angry
considerably
ones.
more horrible. Like within Volisport. Like this is what the ghost field was built to keep out. They're like,
Gotcha.
you already have a lot of ghosts in town, but everyone
Yeah.
everyone is like, fine, cool, because these things are kept out, and that is the priority. We're
What
talking like
technology does the ghost field utilise? And is there anything we could fit to my carriage?
You want a mini ghost field?
Yeah, around my carriage. I don't want ghosts getting in on, lying on my chaise longue.
Interesting.
it
I'll
runs,
be on the chaise long.
It runs like everything else in this world on electroplasmic energy, which is basically like ghost energy. But the manufacturing process, that's what all oscillatronic things run on here. So it's harnessable, it's buildable.
Could I have an attempt at making a miniaturized ghost repelling field?
Hell yes. Just roll it for me now.
Okay. Right.
Tinker it up.
Tut tut, tinker it up.
Three dice for Tinker.
Right.
Oh, great. 6, a 5, and a 4.
They take the form of a series of small portable like telescoping pylons, and you've got maybe like eight or 10 of them basically. So they're like small metal rods that you can easily carry on you, and when you tick them all apart, and they've got little magnets on the bottom, so they'll stick to anything metal. And once they're all up,
All the metal is gold.
say again. Oh
All
yes,
metal is gold.
right. Yes, they won't.
Is that a problem?
Sorry, your carriage is solid gold.
All the metal parts are, yes. There's a lot of oak in there as well.
I'm going to say that the Fortescue family was sold a lemon here, and although it looks
Yeah.
like pure gold, it is in fact pyrite.
It's fool's gold.
It's full gold. I don't know if that's magnetic.
I don't know what it is, but...
It is in Geth.
Okay.
I mean, we just made it canon that the space comes down at night, so like,
Yep, it's true.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. And once all of these pylons are, they've got to all be put up. But once they are, they kind of communicate with each other and create a sort of spherical, a bubble in the shape of the layout that you choose. That, yeah, is a kind of portable ghost field. Well done, Edvard.
All right. Yeah, I think this should. This bad boy can repel so many ghosts. I say, slapping the side of it.
Lovely. Okay, if no one else has any more prep to do, then
Explosives! Or is that going to be the next phase?
No, you can do it.
We're going to need explosives. We're
Has
going to
anyone
need
got a
a
lead?
lot of explosives.
A lead on some explosives. Does anyone know any demolitions experts or
I mean, I could talk
construction
to my
sites?
contacts. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's someone.
Surely you have some sort of property developer who's always blowing up old buildings and
Yes,
building.
quite. Yes, insurance.
high-rise apartments in their
insurance
place.
problems. Yeah, yeah. I
mean-
know the sort.
Demolition tools are also just part of my general loadout because
We
I'm
need-
a
we
lovable
do need-
scamp.
We do
who
need
loves to blow
quite a
things up.
lot of
True.
demolition tools. So
Yeah,
Oh,
this isn't kind of blowing up a safe lock or getting through a wall. This could be
Or an
quite...
entire rooftop,
Edvard,
and
are
possibly
you-
also a mechanical man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Edvard. If I secure these explosives, could you study the designs of the bridge and work out the weak points that we're going to need to hit?
yeah, not a problem. I do that.
Yeah, make me a roll for that, Barnaby. No need to roll, Edvard. That sounds well within your...
That would be a sway, presumably, which is 3 dice. Oh, 2 1s and a 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Just come back with a lot of alcohol.
You talked to one of your demolitions suppliers and asked them if they would basically disappear a barrel of explosive Leviathan distillate. They have done that and delivered you a barrel. What you don't know is that, terrified for their job and for the consequences, it's been quite heavily... In fact, I think it's always more fun with explosives. It's not that the explosive is bad, it's that it's too
volatile.
good. Yeah, it's extremely volatile. You could only get
Done
your
that thing where it's past its sell-by date. You know
Yeah.
where explosives get more volatile and unstable the older and
Yes.
worse they are.
Yes,
So,
yes.
something like
So
that.
you have a barrel. You have a not like a huge barrel, but let's say like a bucket-sized container of Leviathan distillate. You don't know this, but it needs to be handled with utmost care.
Great.
Because it is past its sell-by date, and
Okay.
if it's knocked, it will blow you all to kingdom come.
We're gonna have to make the Kessel run, mate.
But it's not going in my carriage because it smells awful. So we're going to have to find somewhere else to put it.
Oh, put it in with the goats.
Your carriage isn't on this one yet.
Yeah.
We're getting this to put your carriage on. We've
Alright,
not got you.
I thought
If
could
we
maybe
find a
just
freight
attach it to the
train
back.
that's transporting something explosive, then we get more bang for our buck. So
That's
They're
a
not
coal
bucks,
freight
mate.
train or a...
That's great thinking. Well, Bug knows all about the trains coming in and out, so Bug and Mumbles will be able to choose something. One more question. Actually, 2 more questions. Everyone has to choose load before we do the engagement roll. And also, the gut cutters have been in on this brainstorming thing. They're offering to house the locomotive once you get it back. So like they're already contributing in large part to this, to what you need. Do you want any of them to come with you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure. They're getting a load of freight.
I mean,
They
yeah,
can
I
sort their
can't,
freight out for a start.
I love mumbles. I want mumbles.
can't get enough of that voice.
Bagsy mumbles.
You can
hear more of
choose
it.
as many or as little between. You've got Bug, the leader, Mumbles, and then 3 other gut cutters who are available: Thistle, Frog, and TikTok.
What are their voices?
Do them.
They're well, you haven't heard them yet.
Oh. Well, then they're all
Hey!
going to come because
Hey,
all
Thistle!
these voices.
Hey, Thistle, Frog, and TikTok, I say.
Yeah.
Definitely coming along.
Not them.
Yes.
Not them.
Like the
I can't.
customs, Jim.
Not them.
All right, Thistle, Frog, and TikTok all speak with that voice.
I'm going heavy.
You're going heavy.
Same.
Cool.
Light.
Medium for me, please.
Heavy, please.
I will now do us one heck of an engagement roll. Here it comes. Right,
Audacity, we have it.
Audacity, you got it. That's your pop dice for sheer luck. Particularly bold or daring, Natch. Expose a vulnerability or hit them with their weakest. I'm going to say yes, because like
We're hitting him right in the train.
it's and like the bridge the bridge is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Friends or contact provided aid. Yes, I mean you've got popular characters: Bug, Mumbles, Thistlebug, and TikTok.
TikTok.
My boy TikTok.
For enemies or rivals involved, actually, you know what? I am going to subtract a dice for that because Casimir and Barnaby, you have previously tangled with the Railjacks, haven't you? They had a team
Yes,
in the
we have, yeah.
in the
Were they the ones we killed? I can't remember.
No, we sent
They
red
were
sashes tumbling to their death over
Yeah,
the city,
you
but
killed
we
a
did
lot of
moon
red
them.
sashes. But yeah, you as I recall, you did majorly disadvantage the Railjacks in a way that
But did they know?
has
I mean,
made
we
them a
won,
distant enemy.
so
They're going to
fine.
hate us either way.
yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 total.
I'd imagine we celebrated quite unmagnanimously as well.
Oh, raucous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you're having to imagine it. You don't remember. That's how raucous it was.
I'm imagining Barnaby like walking right up to the faces of everyone else
Yep.
with the big champagne magnum on the podium and just be like,
Yeah, I blasted the whole thing in their faces because it wasn't good enough vintage to drink.
Exactly.
okay, here we go.
Casimir, you're learning.
No, it's all you would yell about for hours. Did you see how I blasted them in the face with an entire magnum of swill?
That's a 5 and a 4 and a 4. So pretty solid engagement roll with a complication. So let's say Bug has identified a real choice freight train leaving Coleridge, and there's half a day, maybe a little bit more, until the next train is like scheduled to come after this. So that's your kind of time window because that's when something else is going to be like rattling along the tracks. This train is the actual locomotive is a kind of, because this being a freight train pulling heavy stuff, it's just this gigantic hulking 2-story iron monster, and there are, let's say, 6 carriages, and really deftly guided by popular characters Bug, Mumbles, Thistle, Frog, and TikTok.
TikTok.
As the train is kind of pulling out of the old train yard in Coleridge, TikTok springs up onto the backmost carriage while it's still moving slowly and expertly. You can't even see what they do, but these 2 big gates on the back of the freight carriage just swing open, and you're all able to quite leisurely just hop on. So you've all made it onto the moving train, which is the key thing, and the doors are shut behind you. You are now in the aftmost of did I say 6? Let's say 6.
Six,
That.
yeah.
6 carriages. It's gloomy and it's dark in here, and for your complication, let's say that out of the gloom and the darkness, a sort of skinny little head kind of pokes out, and there's a wiry looking fella there. And he goes, hello.
Hello. Riding the rails, are you?
Oh yeah.
I tell you what helps the time go. Puzzles. I hand him a puzzle book.
Oh, never did learn my numbers. But
Well, I've got some good colouring. Some crayons, if you'd prefer.
thank you very much. He takes a crayon and just starts eating it
Eating.
while maintaining eye contact.
Amazing.
Fascinating.
You're leaving Volis Port too. I'm headed for
Evidently.
the Imperial City myself on account of a misunderstanding with the law.
Same, yeah. Same. I imagine we'll be great friends on this journey.
Oh yes, yes. We'll have plenty of time to get acquainted.
Would you like a drink?
Oh yes, I could go for a drink. I'm a thirsty one, is old Walter.
Okay, I don't need to tick a box of load for this because it's in italics. I hand him a vial of slumber essence.
Cool, great.
Ooh.
Love to drink out of vials.
Make me a roll for just how confidently you kind of pass this across. Like, basically, do you betray anything suspicious about the fact that you think it's slumber essence?
I'm going to make this a consort roll, which is normally 2 dice, but I'm down a die, so that's
But I
a
would-
2.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh no.
Walter takes it from you and gives it a sniff. Oh, what's that, friend? Is that Mandrake and Sleep Ivy?
No,
You
it's,
want old Walter to go to sleep? When we're not even best friends yet.
Oh, Casimir, sorry, that's my sleep. Yeah, I don't travel well. That's my sleeping draft. I'm very sorry. Yeah. We put two things in the same bottle. It was confusing. You picked
Here's
up my
the
sleeping
real
draft.
drink, I say, and I pass him a vial of sleep sometimes.
Go on then. Yeah, you roll me for it as well. He passes this to... I'm going to say we're making this from a less controlled position, but yeah, go for it. He passes
so this
this to
is-
you, Lilith.
Thank you.
The lady,
This is one dice.
The lady must have her drink. Go on then,
we
take
have
a
a-
swig.
I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no, I have to wait. I can't take it as soon as I'm on. I have to get used to the rhythm of the train.
And got to take it with food.
And yeah, I've got to take it with
And
food.
we just ate, so it's too soon.
Walter produces another crayon and passes it to you.
I rolled a 1. So
Roll the 1.
yeah.
You rolled a 1. Mm-hmm. Okay. Walter, you pass the other one to Walter. Oh. Seems like quite a few members of your party have trouble sleeping on trains.
Oh, that's
no.
my one.
Oh,
That's your one, is
Yeah,
it?
that's-
I'm sorry.
We've got a
So
buddy
confused.
system, so I carry
Yeah,
hers, he
I
carries
carry hers.
Yeah.
I produce
Do
a
it.
bottle of whiskey and drink from it myself.
He carries his own.
Here you are then, Missy passes this other
Thank
sleep
you.
draft to you, Zilla.
Cheers.
So where's old Walter's drink? What kind of toast will it be if old Walter's dry?
Well, did you bring your buddy?
My who?
It's your buddy. It's a buddy system. I just explained it to you.
Oh, as I say, my buddy can't join. He's back in Volisport, 6 feet under, on account of a misunderstanding.
Right. Well,
Hey, give me some of that, Barnaby. He's just going to snatch your whiskey.
How?
Cheers! He looks at
Dare
you,
you.
Lilith and Zilla. He wants you to drink. It's time you all drank. Cheers!
Cheers.
Throw
Cheers!
it over a shoulder.
Throw it in his face.
Sleight of hand it over my shoulders.
All right, both of you roll me for the sleight of handing it over.
All right.
6.
6.
Okay. All right. Well, I have nothing in finesse. Oh, I've got 1 in prowl.
it's
There
also
we go.
your choice, so
It's
Yeah,
your choice.
well,
yeah,
I
you can
could-
make
you
it
can
I
better.
could have rolled
Justify
2. I only
Right.
rolled
Prowl it.
1.
And you can push yourself, etc.
Oh, and it's a 2.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Zilla, you just get it loads in your mouth. And your vision starts to swim.
So I just threw the sleeping draft instead of over my shoulder into my own face.
Yeah, the train
A bit up
lurched.
your nose as well.
Oh god.
The train lurched and you just like that. Some of it.
I rush in to grab Zilla before she falls over and smacks her head on something.
Yeah, that's fine. You've caught Zilla. You've
Just got a nice buzz on because
Yeah.
I drank half of it, but I will be asleep soon.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Walter
honest,
takes
though,
a
like-
big swig of your whiskey, Barnaby.
You can keep that. I'm not putting my mouth on that anymore.
Cheers, friend. Okay, so here's where we are now. You're still in this train carriage. Walter's drunk.
Drunk an entire
Zilla's-
bottle of whiskey.
Zilla's unconscious.
Think about Zilla though. She's got such muscle mass. Surely it would take a lot to,
Whose sleep
fire-
draft was it? It was Edvard's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Edvard would mix up a half measures.
no.
The dosage for an Edvard is much less than the dosage for a Zilla.
It's not for me. It's for administering
it's
to
not.
Edvard
villains.
didn't make it for yourself. You've lost track of your own lies. You're not really trying to knock yourself.
No.
Well, good luck, gang. I'm gonna be sleeping this one off. So
Probably for the best, I think.
All right. Well, how are we going to get rid of this guy? We just kick open the back doors and throw
I
him
was
out.
about to choke him unconscious, but too late. So good night.
Mumbles is kind of like, sort of, you see Lilith because you're kind of more attuned to Mumbles' ways.
Yeah.
You see that Mumbles is just she's got a little cord tied around her waist, and she's just slowly producing the world's tiniest little flick knife from that, and she just looks up at you with her big swimmy eyes.
And like, yeah.
All right,
Go for it. I give her just a very subtle nod.
I'll roll 2 dice for Mumbles and 1 for Walter because he's drunk. She just springs up, kind of like little arms and feet all heading to. She lands straight on Walter's head, and just.
Oh,
Just stabs him many times
what?
in the head and neck.
Lilith?
Now, Walter's dead. He just hits the deck, and Mumbles just kind of rolls off her kind of clothes all soaked in blood.
I hand
horrible.
her a napkin.
Yeah.
See,
Just get
you'd
that.
think they're called the gut cutters because that's about as high as they can reach, but they're actually very agile.
Now, here's the thing. Your Walter problem is solved, but the train has only just started moving. It's only like just kind of getting up to speed. You're not technically outside of Volisport yet, and so you do hear a bong, a loud bell. Don't worry. The crows, the wardens, they're not going to catch up with you on a train that's picking up pace and moving faster and faster and faster out of town. But we're going to say killing was involved on this score. Killing that happens in the Deathlands, no one's any the wiser. I don't think that should count towards any heat or crimes or whatever, unless there are witnesses or whatever that make it back to town. But this one, yeah. So Bug kind of opens the back thing. I think this is what you wanted to happen. You can stop it if you want, and just flops Walter's corpse out, and you just kind of see it roll a little bit as it kind of flops onto the tracks as the train.
Yes, Lilith, is this what you wanted to happen?
It's not the ideal
Are you
situation.
trying to make more ghosts?
No.
Listen, mate, you nod at Mumbles. Mumbles is going to do what Mumbles is going to do. You've got to be more careful, really, with that.
I know, but he was clearly gonna murder us all with a crayon.
It's true.
I could just see it happening.
You had to strike first.
Yeah, it was him or us.
It was him
Yeah.
or us.
I just didn't like his vibe. It made me uncomfortable.
Do you like my vibe?
Your
Tell
vibe.
me you like my vibe. Okay.
Mumbles looks up at you again, Lilith, and just. She's
Oh
looking for a
no,
nod.
Mumbles. No, that's fine. That's fine, Mumbles. You're good. You did good.
Mumbles sits down with the colouring set.
I've got some sweets in my bag, and I give her a toffee
Okay, cool.
as a thank
Little
you.
do you know, receiving a toffee is the gut cutter symbol for kill 'em all. As you're kind of airing these rationalizations, Lilith, for the death of Walter, you all hear a terrifically loud kind of electronic noise, and you see pass down towards you through the train carriage. It looks like a thick piece of blue glass has just appeared at the end of the carriage and is just kind of moving towards you, and it passes through you. It's the ghost field, and you've just passed through it. You are now officially outside of Volisport. There's no windows in this carriage that you're in, so you can't see the Deathlands, but you all know you are now out in them.
If I have any ghosts in spirit bottles, are they affected by the field, or are they protected by the spirit bottle?
Great question. Have you just taken them through a shredder? If you want to protect them, make me a roll for it. That was well reasoned. I mean, you shouldn't have said anything really, because you probably didn't.
Yep, I just didn't want you to be like, aha, but an hour later.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, but I wouldn't have thought of it. But
5.
okay,
Five,
yeah, great.
I
Yeah,
got.
you have in anticipation of this, you shielded your bottles with measures.
But now they all have French accents. That's your complication.
Yeah, that's a complication for me, but yeah, fine. It's pretty funny. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
I would like to reach into my bandolier of alchemical preparations. I'm going to pull out a little capsule of smelling salts and just break that under Zilla's nose. See if I can rouse her back to consciousness.
Okay.
It's nice here. I'm sleep punching. Having a lovely time.
You have to kind of duck under the sleep punches, Edward. Someone should roll me for this, but I don't mind who or what.
Okay. Well, I will roll.
Let's roll for the potency of your...
Okay, well that's Tinker because I made it myself.
It's your smelling salts versus your sleep draft.
Yeah. Which was better? I got a 5, a 4, and a 2.
Okay, yeah. Zilla, you are dragged horribly.
Big sleep punch. Yeah.
You do a big sleep punch.
Right into
You know
the
what?
headbard's face.
Let's make
That's
that
the complication, yeah.
Let's make that the complication, yeah. Like that.
I come out of my shoes. I'm in my stockinged feet on the floor.
But they're very strong smelling salts. So I'm like, whoa, I'm back.
Edvard just prang
better than ever.
into the side of the building. Edvard, take level 1 harm, sleep punched. But Zilla, you are back to normal. There are no lingering effects of your unconsciousness.
Oh, that feels great. Edvard, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely fine. didn't hurt. It certainly didn't take level 1 harm. I say
Go for
standing
some
up.
more of those smelling salts.
Bug,
Maybe later,
Thistle,
we've got a mission
Frog,
to
and
focus on.
TikTok are kind of like stood around, kind of like looking at you all, looking at each other, kind of being like. In fact, Frog ostentatiously takes out a little pocket watch, and it's just like,
Yeah, let's get moving. We've got to get up this train and get to the locomotive.
let's get to it, gang. Says Frog.
The classic voice. All right, well, let's go up to the front of the carriage and see what's in the
Yeah.
next one.
We're gonna snowpiercer our way up the train.
Or do we want to go along the top, excitingly?
Sounds
I think
exciting.
we go through the train as far as possible, and the roof is a fallback plan should we need it.
Fine.
Cool.
But the horrors are on the outside of the train, so I feel like we should be on the inside of the train.
Okay. Make me a roll. This sounds like a group action would be good for just progressing through the train.
Yeah.
How do we want to progress? Is it quietly or is it smashingly or
No need to go smashingly at this point, I wouldn't have thought.
Prowlingly.
Yeah.
prowlingly?
Prowlingly up the train.
I'll lead a prowl group action. I've got 3 in prowl. Well, so 2 in prowl.
I've got nothing in prowl whatsoever.
Okay, so you would be rolling 2 dice and taking the worst result, but I've got foresight, which means 2 times the score. I can assist a teammate without paying stress. And
Great.
I have to tell you how I prepared for this. I just say copy me.
Got it. Nice, simple,
So you're-
clear instructions. That's what I need because I've had quite a lot to drink already.
So you're rolling 1d6 now.
1d6. I got a 3.
5.
Okay.
2 4s.
I got a 5.
Zilla, what did you get?
3.
3. Okay, cool. So 5 was the highest there, right? And there were some 3s, so that would
Couple of
be
threes.
Stress for me.
Yeah, you all sort of prowl as a large group. Kind of, you have to go single file around because the freight is kind of piled up, kind of along the sides of this thing. What is this thing freighting? It's freighting a whole bunch of things. It's freighting Volisport's greatest exports: barrels of Leviathan blood, eels,
Scotch eggs.
coal, Scotch eggs, steel ingots,
Lumiere
and-
brand chance cubes.
Yeah, Lumiere brand chance cubes in a small crate, and in a very much larger crate are Astor brand Shrek lanthorns, which have been such a hit, such a hit in Volisport that Astor is expanding to other territories. And,
I kick the crate to pieces.
Okay.
Prowlingly.
Stealthily.
I stealthily kick the crate to pieces.
Well, you are in your stockinged feet.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Let's say
I should get an extra prowl dice for that. Being in
here's
that
your
stockinged
complication. You make it through that first carriage. It's empty apart from the freight, which is great news. There's a kind of door connecting to the next carriage. It's kind of with rubber tubing, like connecting the connecting the carriages. While you're in this rubber tubing, you can kind of hear the howling winds outside and the horrible noise of the Deathlands, but again, you still can't see anything. You make it all the way through this second carriage as well. You encounter your first railjack, one of the guards employed to guard the trains. But wouldn't you know it, this railjack is fast asleep, and you are all able to just creep past subtly. It's not until you get to the third carriage, which also has a railjack in it. This railjack is kind of at the far end, is reading a book, let's say. She's bettering herself, this railjack, just reading a book. And Edvard, you spot the Shrek lanthorns are overcome by and just start, to be fair, you quietly just kick the whole crate apart. What's less quiet though is when all of the Shrek lanthorns just spill out the side and all activate at the same time, and in a cacophonous overlapping way go, "Get out of my swamp!"
Somebody wants get out of my swamp.
Somebody.
See, absolute junk, I say.
You've not been seen, but the railjack at the far end, obviously, like, she slams her book closed, stands up, and goes, "What the hell?" And starts making her way down towards the source of the noise.
Everybody
You're all hidden
hide.
behind other crates. Mumbles is looking up at you, Lilith, with the big swimmy eyes and
One sec. Zilla, just punch her in the face when she comes this way. When
Right.
she gets close. Just knock her out.
Okay.
Not as simple as that, but okay. All right.
Okay.
I studied for
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
She's
give her the
close
big
now.
King Kong lariat right across the throat.
Just do the jaws like he does to the T-Rex. Just pull her head apart.
She clearly suspects. This was only you rolled a 5. Like the complication is minor. She clearly suspects that this is a problem with the packaging of the Shrek Lanthorns.
So initially we're all remaining hidden, just like
You're all hidden out of way, and she stood very close by.
Is she so distracted by the pile that we could maybe sneak behind her and get to the front of the carriage?
Possibly, but there's
Yeah,
a
but
lot
so
of
is-
you, and it's a tight.
How narrow are we
squeeze.
talking? How narrow are these carriages?
The carriages are quite wide. They're the kind of width of a regular train carriage on
yeah.
Earth. However, each side is kind of unevenly
Right.
stacked up with boxes and
Crates
stuff. So
and
you
whatnot,
have to
yeah.
go. There's like room to go single file through
Mm.
the middle. They obviously pack the trains with as much freight as you can, while still basically making them able to be unloaded and have one person move up and down. So it is a squeeze. You can absolutely go for it though if you want.
Could I? So are we sort of like not in the pathway? We're sort of like hidden behind some boxes at the moment.
Yeah, you're kind of just like in little gaps at the end of the carriage. Like
Okay.
Hidden.
I would like to try and throw a toffee
Oh, okay.
to the
yeah.
other end of the carriage to make some noise so that she turns around and goes to inspect that as well.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Right, I'm going to make this a finesse roll.
Like this.
Oh, 6.
Yeah, brilliant. One of the Shrek Lanthorns must be malfunctioning in an audio way because it goes and she stands up and goes, "What was that?" And turns around and
What was that noise?
What's that noise?
Can I creep behind her as she goes after the toffee to the front of the carriage?
She walks up towards the toffee and looks at the toffee and goes, "Nothing there."
And that's when I wrap my hands around her throat and choke her unconscious.
Smash
Cool.
mouth! Smash mouth!
Smash.
What?
Smash
When I
mouth!
go
That's
around
when you
and
smash mouth.
her in the mouth, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Go on then. Roll me for it, but
I'll roll you for it.
Roll me for it, but like controlled position. You're gonna have to, as long as you don't really whiff this, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I gather all my strength, which is heightened by the recent smelling salts somehow.
Remember, you can push
And-
yourself, flashback, take help, all the usual ways
what
to add
kind of
dice if you
flashback
want.
would help me on this occasion? But I
Brass
rolled
knucks.
no, non-lethally. I non-lethally
Yeah.
to the tune of 4 out of 6 on my dice.
Okay.
Wrap my arms around her neck and gently, without crushing her windpipe, with any permanent damage, just kind of like tighten like a big muscular snake around her neck.
The anaconda vice. Right.
Yeah.
Anaconda vice, yeah. Just gently lay her out on the floor of the carriage. Just shh.
It's textbook stuff. It's slumped. The only complication really is that like doing this has eaten into your precious time, and you don't have much. But here you are you're now at the front of the third most carriage, I think.
Halfway there.
The kind of rubber tubing bits that kind of connect each carriage have like little glass kind of plates in them so that you can kind of see through into the next carriage. And you look through and you can see that the next carriage has 2 rail jacks who are kind of stood idling, one at either end of the carriage.
This might be the time to try the top. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Cool.
We've come this far.
Cool. Yeah, there's
Up and over.
there's an access hatch in the top. It is
And then we get our first look at the Deathlands.
Yeah. Okay,
What
so
a treat!
yeah. So yeah, there's a little access hatch and a little ladder that you can pull
Wait,
down.
wait.
so
I
it's fine.
reach into my heavy, my big knapsack. I don't know what I brought. Like a big
Duffel
canvas
Big duffel,
bag of
yeah.
kit. I bring out a pair of goggles for everyone.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
yeah.
I was gonna say that's
Big
so
steampunky goggles for everyone. Yeah.
tremendous.
These
tremendous.
don't really go with my coat, Zilla.
Are
Unfortunately.
you gonna go without them, Barnaby?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
let
think
Barnaby
so.
go without the goggles.
Okay.
Okay, Barnaby goes without the goggles. Let's say that there's also Zilla, and don't need to tick off load for this, but because it's so small and light, but you also have kind of like fabric wraps that people can like kind of tie around
Oh
their-
yeah, we look cool.
to make breathing easier and also to make you look like cool train robbers.
Yeah. Or like old time aviators.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like flight goggles and aviator scarves around our
Yeah,
faces.
yeah. You all look super cool, and there are little miniature ones for popular characters: Bug, Mumble, Thistle, Frog, and TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
I have a little protective mustache cover that I usually wear while sleeping, but I fixed that as well. Just to...
Zilla, let's say you go first. You kind of
Hatch open.
yeah,
Up
you
the
have
little,
to. You have to
little
really
rungs.
push against the force of the winds to like get this hatch open. You have to really push to kind of get it to go, and then halfway up, it just like the wind catches it and it just slams open the other way. You kind of poke your head out and reel from the force, but you get your first ever look at the Deathlands from outside the ghost field. It is bright. Like, not a lot of this world is bright, but like the low amount of like sun that there is just glaring off this kind of bleached desert like landscape. Everything is kind of pale yellow grey. You look out in the distance, you can see kind of whole forests of dead trees. The air is kind of thick with a kind of haze of like permanently swirling ash, and there's a real cacophonous kind of howling, screaming sound, which you hope is the wind.
Could be Barnaby, who can't see a bloody thing and has
Yeah. You know full well could be other things as well. You kind of steadying yourself, you make your way out onto the top of the train. Has handholds and stuff, so you know, being careful, you're all able to kind of make your way up out onto this, including all of the gut cutters if you want them to come up with you. You have the option, of course. You can tell them.
Can those agile little mites climb along the side, just so we've got an alternative angle?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they sort of nimbly kind of Mumbles just puts the flick knife between her teeth and just kind of drops down onto the sides of the train. With their center of gravity, they can just hang there indefinitely. It's incredible. The the upper body strength and the power to weight ratio of these little tykes is bonkers. Barnaby, you're the last one up, and as you poke your head above, you are immediately and painfully blinded by ash. Take level 1 harm, blinded painfully, and
Okay.
And let's say that like you're going to be like squinting painfully for the duration.
Okay.
Of your life.
Certainly until you're able to kind of heal. It's amazing how much ash gets in. It's like under your eyelids. It's just kind of filling up with ash.
It's really crusting over.
My cornea.
Yeah. You've got crusty corneas.
Level 1 harm, crusty corneas.
Yeah. In fact, the kind of sandblasting effect of the ash is gradually wearing away micron by micron your cornea and is making you more and more long-sighted. It's like laser eye surgery.
Right.
Soon you'll need glasses if you don't if you don't take measures. But
All right, fine. Give me the bloody goggles then.
all right. Barnaby
You said you didn't want them, so I threw them off the train.
Damn, that's canon. Okay. All right, Barnaby. I suppose you'll have to fashion some sort of something else.
We just blindfold Barnaby and lead him across the top of the train, blindfolded.
Yep. Okay. That's fine.
Yep.
I say fine. We'll probably die. Okay, cool. But you're all up there. Barnaby's
Yeah,
blindfolded.
we're all on the roof.
Ahead of you, looking at, like, you all sort of can't stop staring at just the sight of the Deathlands and the horrible, bleak terror that it fills you with. But ahead of you, you can see 3 long freight carriages on the top, and at the end, the locomotive, which is just sort of pumping, chunking along, pumping out huge amount of toxic kind of fume, kind of spewing it out into the atmosphere. And out in the distance, and it is still distant, but you can see, and you're hurtling towards it at some speed, but you can see what looks like a large iron bridge.
Oh, we need to pick up the pace, folks. We've got to get to this engine before we reach that bridge.
Can I do a quick flashback that we smuggled the distillate onto the carriage closest to the locomotive?
Yes.
Or we ask the gut cutters to smuggle it onto the...
Yeah, that's fine. That
So-
sounds like something that they can do that's well within their wheelhouse. Take 1 stress, Barnaby, for the flashback, but yeah, that's good. The distillate is not on you, and wasn't ever. It's in the frontmost carriage or the locomotive.
Harder to conceal in the locomotive, so I suppose frontmost carriage very near to
Yep.
where you would like decouple the carriages.
That makes
if
sense.
you
And
want
dare
to.
I say, you probably don't want this stuff in the locomotive you are
Yeah, exactly.
out here to acquire. All right, well, that's the scenario.
All right, let's keep moving up.
Yeah.
We've got to get to the front as quickly as possible, so let's just keep trying to move up as fast as we can.
Another group action, perhaps?
Yeah.
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 It's going to have to be a group action for me. I can't see a bloody thing, so
Yeah.
everything I do is going to be group actions from now on, pretty much.
What are we calling this one?
I guess stealth is less essential given that
Yeah.
we're on
Yeah.
top of a noisy train.
Finesse.
I think
Probably
finesse
yeah,
to try
stability
and stay.
feels like
Balance.
the thing.
And, yeah.
Oh yeah, balance, right.
Yeah, finesse, I think.
Oh, fun.
Okay.
All right. I'll lead us if you want.
Cool.
I'm going to have to push myself.
Okay.
I've got 2 in finesse, so...
What do we get if Ellen's leading us?
It just means that I'm willing to take on the stress if people
Okay.
fail.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
Lilith
low
will take the
stress.
stress of your failures, but as
Okay.
a
Yeah.
group, you take the highest result.
I've got a 5 and a 3. I don't know what that means, but...
All right.
I got a
Also
3,
five.
3 and a 3 and a 1.
I
Sorry.
got 2 twos. I got 2.
I got a 6 and a 2.
Hey!
Okay.
6. Yeah.
Okay, great job. It
Okay.
was a group action because we'll take 6. However, let's count up the stress that Lilith will be taking.
So I got 1
Uh-oh.
from me, 1
You
from
don't-
Barnaby.
You don't get one from you, I don't think. It's for other players
Oh, it's just
when
for
you're
other
leading.
players. Okay.
So
I got
Barn-
a 3 and a 1, so that's
Okay, 2 from
2.
Edvard. And did anyone else get anything below a 4?
Nope.
Okay, so I got 3 stress. Okay.
Cool.
That's all right.
All right. Lilith, you and the highest result was a 6. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you kind of move to the front of the group and just start kind of Tony Hawk's manualing, balancing your kind of way along this thing. The trickiest parts, obviously, are when you have to jump onto the next carriage. You're able to make it, and everyone else, like kind of watching Lilith, you figure out the safe spots. Thistle and Frog take one of your hands each, Barnaby, and like kind of lead you along. TikTok Bug and Mumbles are just kind of ape-like, kind of swinging along the sides of the thing. They're racing ahead. They're having no trouble at all. Following Lilith's lead, you're able to make it up to let's say you are now on the carriage that is the last carriage, the frontmost carriage. So you're on this carriage that contains within the Leviathan distillate and God knows what else. And the locomotive is ahead of you.
Cool. I need to work out what fully is the plan for when we want to get as much of this train back to Volisport, right?
Yeah.
We need to halt the train. We need to break
We need
the
to
train
halt
before
the train.
it hits the bridge,
Yeah.
and then detach the
Yeah.
engine.
The carriages. Decouple the carriages.
Because we want the engine, but we don't want the carriages. Well, we want one carriage.
Yeah, but the
for
thing is, if we
for the
decouple
gang.
the carriage and the locomotive,
yeah,
the carriages
I know.
are still in the way. We can't back up the locomotive.
Well, there'll be a siding somewhere.
There will
can-
be, yeah, probably.
shut them
Probably somewhere before the bridge as well, because it's...
And we
totally
use the
an
momentum
important
to
crossing.
slingshot the carriages past the locomotive, over the bridge, and then explode the bridge.
But we also
In one smooth action.
the gut cutters need some of the.
Well, we'll keep one carriage for them.
Okay.
One freight carriage. The number 1 freight carriage attached to the loco. We'll keep
Right,
that.
we'll keep that
Move it
one.
onto the sidings. One smooth action.
Okay.
There would need to be sidings, because presumably if the bridge were out for any reason, you might need to move trains.
Oh,
back
and we put a
forth.
fuse into your
Into my distillate, yeah.
a long fuse into the distillate so that the train blows itself up on the bridge.
No, we don't want to blow the
Perfect.
train up. The carriage.
No, the carriages. The momentum.
yeah.
The momentum will keep them going across the bridge, and then it'll detonate as it passes over. It's flawless.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So all you need to do is take control of the train,
Yes.
get it into this little, decouple.
Yeah.
Consciously decouple the locomotive.
We'll need someone off the train pulling the track switcher.
Does this call for a flashback? Because I don't know how anyone can get faster than this train.
Well, no, we're going to stop. We're going to stop the
train.
train first.
Yeah,
Right.
we can
Oh,
stop
okay,
it and
all
then gather the momentum later. So.
Okay, fine. Not one smooth motion.
I think what I'm obviously you have many options, but what I think it sounds like the priority is stop the train.
Yeah.
Feels like the most
And the
urgent.
people driving it, specifically.
Okay.
So let's do it.
I would like to tick a box of load. One question actually. Is there a chimney or some sort of roof hatch on the actual locomotive itself?
Well, I mean, yes, there's loads of chimneys that are kind of venting various fumes and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm thinking I'll tick a box of load and smoke bomb, so they think that something's gone horribly wrong inside the actual locomotive.
Nice.
So I'll take a box of load for an unusual weapon. It's a smoke bomb. It's unusual because it's a modified one of those mechanical monkeys that does this. And it's got a cigar which just spews out prodigious amounts of smoke.
Yeah, that's great.
So I like sort of steadying myself, kind of just like wind. In he goes.
Cool. Does that require a roll? Maybe make me a roll for the nature of the smoke bomb. Actually, you know what? The hardest part of this is going to be getting, because you're not on the locomotive yet, are you? So
Nope.
getting far enough forward to drop it in, I think, will be the tricky part. So,
Okie dokie. I'm going to make this a prowl roll because this is what I'm good at.
cool.
So just 2 instead of the normal 3 dice. Pair of 3s there, Luke.
Okay. Right. Casimir, you take a cautious step, over onto the locomotive. You are now stood on the locomotive at the back. You're looking to the kind of big hole where like all of the exhaust is billowing out, and you kind of lining up your shot with this monkey. In fact, let's say because it's a little clapping monkey, right? It kind of probably goes along the ground, right? So you kind of place it in a line it up nice, going towards the hole, and you just let it go, and it just starts going forward like that. Now, a monkey banging a cymbal, although not a particularly fun one, is a toy. And when Thistle, Frog, and TikTok see this, they just start hooting and having a great time. And TikTok just...
Oh, TikTok.
Was TikTok holding your hand, Barnaby? Whatever.
No,
it was Thistle and Frog, wasn't it?
Thistle
Yeah.
and
Frog.
Frog, yeah.
TikTok just kind of just clambers along the side of the locomotive. Sorry. Pops up on top of the locomotive, runs up, picks up the little monkey, and just turns around to all of you and goes. And then smoke envelops everything, and you cannot
TikTok!
see. You cannot see what is happening.
I feel around in my pockets for my certificate of child minding, and I eat it.
Yeah. Okay. A smoke bomb has gone off on top of the locomotive. TikTok is in the cloud. Now none of you can see what is going on. You're moving quite fast, obviously, so you're going to move through this enormous smoke bomb cloud quite soon. But you've not done anything to stop the train, and unfortunately, that bridge is getting closer and closer.
Okay, well, we've got to get to this. I'm going to try and just push forward through the smoke and see if I can get down into the driver's car and pull the brake.
Yeah. All right.
Flashback, when we got rid of Walter, I picked up the empty bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, fine.
Kept it with me.
Okay, Edvard, I love the action-y sound of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just I know which way forward is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay low, crawling along and trying to drop down and go across into the carriage.
I'll drop down as well, and given that I've been almost blinded, I can now actually see better in the smoke than I could previously, and taking advantage of this newfound vision,
Whoa!
I'm gonna try and smash the driver over the back of the head with an
You've
empty
got
bottle.
smoke vision now.
I'm like, wow, I can, suddenly my senses are heightened from not being able to see anything.
Yeah, my scratched and crusted corneas are working better than ever.
4, 5, 6. Smoke vision exists. 1, 2, 3. Barnaby thinks smoke vision exists. That's a 4.
Okay. It's real.
It's real.
Smoke vision.
Smoke vision is real.
I've been in an awful lot of very smoky bars for an awfully long time. I know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Right, Edvard. Are you going to do this as a group action, or do you want to roll separately?
Seems to be a group action. Barnaby has joined. So
Cool.
I think his plan is to whack the driver over the head.
Yeah.
with the
Get
bottle.
inside, hit the driver. Yeah.
Is this a finesse or a prowl, did we say?
I'd say finesse because we're trying to keep
Yep.
our balance and
That's
everything. So, all right, I'll
Alright.
lead.
Got a 4 and a 1.
5 and a 4.
Okay, so we'll take the 5, which is great.
5 and a 2.
Oh, are you going as well, Zilla?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Can't
Okay.
let these scrawny boys go without some
Yeah.
some backup.
That's fine. Casimir and Lilith, are you getting in on this as well?
No.
Okay.
I'm waiting. I've got a backup
Yeah.
if needs be.
Reasonable. So the highest result was a 5.
Yes.
But Edvard takes 2
I have
stress.
one
Two
failure.
stress. Well, it's another one now that Zilla's joined. So thanks.
Cool. So 2 stress. But no, yeah, okay. Edvard, thinking fast and with what I would describe as an intuitive grasp. You don't need your eyes to feel your way around what is fundamentally a machine. You understand these things.
Yeah. Also, as a boy, I spent hours and hours poring over various technical manuals about trains.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you just
That's how you got your Gucci deal, right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Through the smoke, you nice. Through the smoke, you just make your way across. You're just using only your handholds and stuff, kind of scampering on all fours. As you get up onto kind of like into the middle of the locomotive, you can hear TikTok kind of hacking and coughing and vaguely dimly sort of see the shape of him kind of like lying on his back. He's okay. He's stunned,
good.
but he's fine. Barnaby and Zilla, you follow Edvard, and Edvard is the first to swing down the side of this train, excitingly, whoosh, in through what is undoubtedly one of those train driver windows so that they can like put their arm out like that, right? In the cab, there are 2 people because there's a driver and I don't know what you call the other job. You know the what?
Stoker?
Stoker.
Engineer?
Stoker. Love it.
Bramstick.
They prefer to be called engineers, but everyone calls them stokers. Yeah, Edvard, you swing in excitingly and kick the driver away from the controls. Quickly,
Yeah.
Barnaby and Zilla, you follow. Barnaby, you
Clock the
hit.
Stoker over the head, I guess. Or...
Yep, Stoker, donk like that, and the Stoker just slumps forward. Zilla, you kind of swing in as well and survey the scene, which is a stunned Stoker who's kind of ing around, and the driver who has been punted away from the controls and is reaching rapidly for a pistol that is kept on the back wall.
Whoa. All right, I slam my palms up on either side of the narrow walkway and like heft my weighty boots up and kick the pistol out of his hands.
Oh, cool. Okay, do that.
Oh yeah, right. I got to roll for that.
No, I think you'll find it just happens.
You'll find. Oh yeah, I got 2 1s and a 6. So
Wow,
best
tremendous.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, with high kicking action, you kind of almost half run up the side of this thing with a spinning back kick. Just the pistol.
Nice.
Do you want it to go out the train completely? Because you can, or you can have it yourself.
Let's keep it in play. But just it goes skittering further down the train. Is there as an option?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I envisage
You're kind
it.
of in this locomotive, like you're now in a fairly cramped and confined space because the locomotive is like mostly just dense machine parts.
Yep,
apart from this driving cab that the 5 of you are in a now quite cramped environment. So let's say that the pistol, when you kick it, it kind of bounces out of it smashes through a little window on the front and it just comes to rest on the top of the locomotive, on the front, like the front bit that you can see, and it's just kind of there, kind of vibrating on the top.
On the hood.
On the hood.
I know it's not a hood on a train, but yeah, effectively
close
the hood.
enough. Yeah.
Okay. I need to pull this brake, but before I do, I will just shout to everyone, everybody hold on to something, because this is going to stop suddenly. I'm talking to you on the roof. And then when I
Bang, bang,
figure
on the
they've had
roof,
enough
yeah.
time to do that, I throw the brake.
Cool. Okay, I thought for sure you were going to shout "It's alive" instead of that valuable warning, but
I shout that in my head.
yeah, in your head. I don't think there's any need to roll that. If it was anyone else, there'd be a roll for figuring out the break. But seeing as it's Edvard, there's immediately with kind of predator vision, you identify. It's glowing red.
It's the big lever,
break.
yeah.
Like that, and the brakes are slammed on hard. Good job you warned everyone, or else we would be doing some tricky rolls. But I don't think that's necessary now. Everyone else has.
There's going to be loads of stuff to hang on to in the cab of a.
Yeah, exactly. Inside the cab, you might get thrown about a bit, but you're not going to get thrown fatally off the train, are you? So, on top and on the sides, Casimir, Lilith, Guts Cutters, who are still up there. In fact, Lilith, you grab hold of TikTok's leg. TikTok's leg. Because TikTok is still there, dazed. Yeah, when the brakes hit, TikTok kind of flies forward, and you're just like, huh? Oh no, you don't. Yeah.
I don't move a muscle.
Okay. Yeah, fine. And the train starts. It doesn't like stop instantly because there's so much weight behind this thing, but it does start to like kind of come to a screeching halt. The driver, you know what? Is this the kind of driver who's like just doing it for the paycheck, or is this the kind of driver who passionately believes in the moving of freight from one thing to another and absolutely despises
He had
The
a gun.
lifeblood of this continent.
Yeah. It's a 3. The driver is not one who's willing to throw their life away just for some probably insured freight. And having had the gun kicked out their hands, the driver and the stoker are both just like, what's going on here?
It's a hijacking, mate.
We're taking this train. Did you not? Was that not clear?
Taking
Train jacking. We're train
implied.
pirates.
Taking it where?
Wouldn't you like to know?
What are you going to do with us?
Well, if you behave yourselves, we'll take you back to Vodasport.
Oh. All right then. We'll behave ourselves then.
All right.
All right, I
Glad
begin
to
to
hear
tie
it.
up the stoker and the driver
Yeah.
with rope from my duffel bag.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tick that off. The driver and the stoker, while they're being tied up, are kind of exchanging looks. Like they're kind of suspicious of like, this is like so far the politest hijacking.
Well, you've got to have standards, haven't you?
I thought at least I would be clobbered over the. Oh, sorry, you were clobbered over the head, my associate. I'm so
We're all still
But
wearing
with a very
the
ornate
goggles.
whiskey bottle.
We're all unidentifiable except for Barnaby, who wasn't wearing goggles or a mask. So,
Yes.
in terms of being, hijackers, we're
Yeah.
unidentifiable.
They have seen Barnaby's
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Doesn't sound like a problem to
I
me.
guess an unconcerned shrug. Right, the train is slowing, and stops. As you lean out the windows, you can see that it has come to rest just ahead of a service siding that is presumably used for the upkeep and maintenance of this bridge. So ahead of the train, there is siding, kind of going off to the left, just like a distance of track that goes nowhere. A little way ahead is the bridge. It's a very long bridge. It's very, very high. You can see the kind of ashy winds kind of like howling through this big crevasse thing that the bridge is poised over.
So what we need to do here is a very delicate balancing act where we get the train going, we decouple the back 4 cars. The locomotive will speed slightly ahead of that. We'll switch the tracks so that the locomotive and the first carriage go into the sidings.
Yes.
And then we switch the tracks back so that the
momentum carries the rest of the carriages forward.
yeah.
Yep, I
So
love
that's
it.
what
I
we're
love
going to
it.
try and do with a fuse on the carriages so that they explode when it's on the bridge.
Okay.
We should also go and can I go back to carriage 2 and collect the unconscious train worker?
Well,
Well, there are some guards that we didn't deal with in the other.
yeah.
No, I know.
Here's the thing. So the train
What
is
happens in the Deathlands?
as the train comes to a stop, and I don't. Are you all like getting out at this point? You want to get out the train to kind of, or are you kind
Stretch
of
our legs.
stretch
Yeah.
your legs?
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of dangerous out there, isn't it? But
It is dangerous out there. You shall we say in flashback that you deployed those brilliant shielding pylons that
Yes.
that Edvard came up with. Okay, yeah. So you did that while you were on the roof.
I'm going to stay on the roof for now.
Cool. All right, the train comes to a stop. You're all staying on board. You start to hear shouts from like further back the train. They're hard to hear over the howling winds, but those winds are slightly muffled by the improvised shield that you've erected around the train. And as you look in some mirrors, because of course trains have side mirrors, as you look in the mirrors, you can see 2 rail jacks just kind of hopping down either side of the train, and they're kind of walking up, and they're shouting like and gesturing like, "What's going on? Why have we stopped?" You know, they're probably going to see the gut cutters hanging off the side any moment.
I'm going to shout, "Bridges out! Get back to your stations!"
Okay.
And that is a sway roll, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
That's 2 6s and a 3.
Crit. Yeah, these 2 guards, like, this is music to their ears because they did not want anything to be happening. So they're just like, bridge out, got it, brilliant. Sounds like a wait and read our books and do our colouring in. Yep, so they're kind of like walking suspiciously and just in one smooth movement they're just like... and go back. And they get into the carriages. They are in the carriages. So you can now enact this plan. I think a group action is the way to do this. Mm-hmm. Probably you'll want to take part. Your odds are really good if you do. Mm-hmm. But like, this one's so important, folks. So if there's anything else you want to do, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to push myself.
Cool.
I feel like we shouldn't send these railjacks to the bottom of the crevasse in an exploding train. If we can help.
Why?
Yeah, can we knock them out somehow?
I mean, we could try, but it's a lot, isn't it? There's one already unconscious who I think we, at the very least, should rescue her.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
put her in
Well,
there.
let me hang on. I go through my bandolier of alchemical preparations. I've got something in here that's a bit like a smoke bomb, but for sleeping gas.
Oh, that's what I was going to suggest. I was seeing if the draft would work with one of Casimir's smoke bombs, but if you've already got one.
Well, I've got sort of aerosol distribution canister deal that works like that.
So pop one of those
Sleep
through the
bomb.
window of carriage 3.
Yeah, I sidle up to carriage 3, pull open the window, pop a little thing in, and reclose the window.
Yeah,
that goes.
That's fine.
Let
I think the how well that goes is also like you've got dice momentum from Barnaby's crit, definitely. Like
Nice.
that's just
Okay.
They're-
Can I
they're-
hoist all 3 of
Okay.
them over to the first carriage that we're going to save?
Yeah,
So-
that's fine. So now
Alright.
in your carriage you have 3 unconscious rail jacks.
Yeah.
You also have the driver and the stoker tied up, still in the locomotive.
Yeah, we also need to move the distillate from
Yep.
the first carriage to
the second.
third. Or second.
Well remembered. Cool. Okay, so let's do this group action roll for all of the fiddly train switchy bits.
Okay.
Any volunteers to lead that?
I'm not very stressed. I feel like leading this one.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's what is this? Finesse?
It's a multi-part plan. I don't know. It's
So is this everything? Because I'll happily,
Or is it wreck?
I'll volunteer to be the switcher out on my own because I can at least deal with ghosts if anything goes wrong.
the intention is to explode a train. So the ultimate goal
Is
is
wreck.
to wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Would anyone like a free extra die for my second use of foresight?
I've got nothing in
time.
wreck, so it might be useful.
Give it
I
to
have
Barnaby.
0 in rec as well.
I
sorry.
also have 0 in wreck, so I'm going to
Oh,
push
no.
myself again.
I have
Let's
a wreck.
wreck it.
I have 1 wreck, but I'm also going to push myself.
Yeah, I think I'm going to push
I
myself.
got 2. I got 2 in wreck, so I'm feeling good.
What am I rolling? With the foresight stuff?
Just 1d6,
1d6.
rather than 2 and taking the worst result.
Got 1.
I got
also rolled
6.
a 1.
Oh no! I got a 5 and a 3.
But Barnaby
I
got
got
6. It's
5
fine.
and a 6. 5 and a 2.
Oh wow!
So
Okay.
I'm discovering a talent for wrecking things.
Sudden wrecking prodigy Barnaby.
So let's add up the stress. Hold up 1 finger for everybody for each 1, 2, or 3 that you got.
It's
Wow.
You only
Oh.
take 1 stress for each person whose die result was whose highest die result was 1, 2, or 3.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sorry,
I
of
think
course you're quite
actually-
right. Yeah.
I think Ellen took too much stress before.
Oh, I should take 1 less from earlier. Cool.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go on then,
Nice.
delete that.
So I'm taking 2 stress. 1 from Edvard and 1 from Lilith.
none from me. I got a 5 and a.
It's 1 from Casimir and 1 from Lilith.
Oh, okay, there we go. 2. Right.
Tremendous. Yeah. 2 stress.
Nothing.
Got it.
Okay, working together and with a series of hand signals and gestures, You have stopped the train. Lilith is over by the point switcher on the kind of runoff bit of track, the siding, and Edvard, I assume you're driving the train. I imagine you insisted I will be driving the train.
I don't
Do you have a
want
little
anyone
hat?
else. Yeah, I don't want anyone else to see how excited and happy I am. But I'm wearing the little engineer's cap.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I guess I'll be the one to drive the train then. If
I suppose it should be me.
Yeah.
Wee haha.
Yeah. I'm going to say while you're doing it as well, you've got Mumbles and Thistle sat one on each knee, just
On
kind
each
of
knee.
like
Yeah, and I'm letting them do the whistle.
Like the railway children.
I would like to be the one to decouple the carriages, if that's all right.
Yeah, of
just give it
course.
a poke with my cane.
Oh yeah, it's very satisfyingly. You just like dunk with your cane, and just the coupling just pops out the bottom, and so the train is moving. You've got up to speed. Then the points are thrown by Lilith, and the train just accelerates and comes to a gentle stop in the siding. You've got one carriage attached, right? So it's locomotive, one carriage.
With the fuse in the distillate.
In carriage 2, which is released.
Behind you, the remaining 5 carriages just keep moving with that kind of trundling weighty train momentum, just kind of out and over right into the the centre of the bridge, where they are precariously poised out there. And that is the situation. You have your locomotive, and you have 5 carriages out over a crevasse.
Did we set the fuse, or?
I assumed we had. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was part of it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's
I
get
put
out of
myself-
here.
Set the fuse
another drink.
alight. We set the fuse alight, not just laid it, but I think we
Fine.
set
Yeah.
the train in motion with the fuse burning. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tick off another one of my load to have a drink and watch the fireworks.
Yep, no problem. You have a drink. Let's say maybe you pour some of that like alcohol into your eyes, because unbelievably it offers a sense of relief.
Gets to the bloodstream faster that way as well.
It's agonising, but like it is removing some of the ash. Of course, the
We're all
ash
sat
quickly
under the
cakes back on.
anti-horror awning.
Now, was that thing were those pylons? Should we say that you removed them and reattached them just over the locomotive in that first?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
Flashback.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, and you're all sat there, kind of watching, chilling, having a good time, and then you're like, it's been a little while. I wonder if we set the fuse.
Never return to a lit train firework.
Exactly. There's a titanic bang in a huge kind of yellow fireball, and billowing smoke that is quickly swept away by the ashy winds. The train just explodes, and then there's a kind of horrible, loud creaking, wrenching kind of coming to you in stereo as the two halves of the bridge just sort of in a kind of tangled mess just kind of fall down, and the whole mess just clatters down into it echoes for ages and ages and ages, this kind of sound. You have done it. You have your locomotive.
All right, I throw it into reverse. We start
Okay.
heading back the way we came.
You throw it into reverse and start heading back the way you came. This thing takes a little while to speed up, get up to speed, I'm going to say, especially in reverse. And Lilith, you're the one to see. As you're kind of like leaning out the window, looking out, you're kind of slowly passing the kind of shrubland and dead trees and stuff of the Deathlands up on this hilly stretch that you're on. And you think you see some of the shrubs kind of start to tremble a little bit, and but you're confused. You could normally identify a ghost or a horror. It doesn't seem like that. And then from a series of trap doors hidden under the ash, which all pop open at roughly the same amount of time, out jump a gang of Deathland scavengers. Lilith, none of you have, I don't think any of you have ever encountered this faction before, but Lilith, you know of them because you've done the most Deathlands travel, and they are what every travelling group dreads. They basically, they're opportunists. They rarely will kind of stop and rob a train, but like if something breaks down or is wrecked, or if they sense weakness or easy prey, they will, pounce, get what they can. They're kind of dressed in like goggles and kind of like fabric wraps kind of like all over their body. They look like mummies with goggles, and they're all holding kind of various painful looking serrated rusty weapons. They were clearly alerted by the loud bang and all of the commotion, and yeah, they're just going to start making their way towards the locomotive to try and violently kill you all.
Do they speak the same language as us? Can they be reasoned with, or are they very much unreasonable
There's
types?
only one way to know. That's to try and reason with them.
Okay.
So I'm going to tick 2 boxes of load and pull out a large weapon, just in case.
Yeah, cool. What is
Good
the
plan.
weapon?
I'm imagining like a repeater rifle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
alright.
I'd like to, if I can, get on top of the locomotive again
That's fine. Yeah.
and just start like picking people off if it goes south.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. If it goes south, yeah, that's fine.
I'm totally oblivious. I'm still driving it, and I'm singing a song of driving a train. Chuffer, toot, toot, toot. Raining all day long. So, yeah.
The gut
Surrounding.
cutters are also, they're all distracted. None of them have seen this. They're joining in your song, Edward.
Right.
It's so
Yeah,
catchy.
I don't want to distract the gut cutters because this is quite they're tough, but this is quite an intense situation.
This is scary.
So
As
yeah,
the train is moving very, very slowly. I'd say it's moving at about walking pace at the moment still, and they're just kind of starting to fan out in kind
Okay.
of low, spindly crouches. They're all wiry and emaciated
Yeah.
looking, and they're just moving around. They're communicating to each other with kind of like little quick hand signals and stuff, and they're just fanning out around the locomotive to surround it.
Hello there. What ho?
Keep going, Barnaby.
I assume
your
you're
play.
here to. I assume you're here to try and take this train from us. Good plan, like it, but I can think of an improvement. How about don't kill us, and we'll tell you where we've stashed the rest of the train. There were many, many more carriages. We've hidden them away. Secret siding. I can give you the location if you let us go.
Go on, roll me for it.
All right, it's a sway. Give me some sway. 2 4s and a 5.
Okay. They're moving. It's hard to tell which one's the leader, but one of them just kind of just like puts up a hand, and all the others just kind of stop moving. That one kind of keeps walking pace with the train. Barnaby is now kind of walking in a kind of weirdly free and easy manner, just kind of strolling alongside, talking to you, and says, "Voice. I've been living in the Deathlands my whole life."
Croaky, I'd say, probably. Raspy.
Say again. Oh, it's the skeletons. Fine.
You're looking well. A little more meat on your bones. Anyway,
Very little more.
yeah, look, we've taken the bridge out. There won't be anyone by for quite a while, but we've stashed the rest of this train. It was a 6-carriage train. We're taking this one back to Volasport. Mainly we need the locomotive, but we need a bit of extra storage. The actual good stuff is over in a siding. I can give you the location, coordinates and everything. I can mark it on this map. If you let us go.
What was that bang?
That was the bridge exploding. We exploded the bridge.
Why?
So there wouldn't be any more trains coming through, so we could stash the rest of the train.
But you already stashed train, then bang bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so that people don't see it as they come past. Just buys us a bit of time. Belt and braces.
Right.
You have belts and braces out here, don't you?
Draw on map.
He pulls out a map. It's shockingly accurate. It's kind of crudely drawn, but is like in terms of scale and stuff, it's brilliantly put together. And kind of is like where on the map is.
I pick a spur that is obviously, it is going to take them a while to get to.
Okay.
But that is obviously logical. They must have all the rail network must be as accurately mapped as everything else on this map. So I'm just going to eyeball it and pick somewhere that is going to take them a while to get to, and that is a plausible sort of location for a dead end, basically, like a mine or something.
Craddock's mine.
That's the one.
We were there. Hard to imagine where you would stow all those carriages, but
Well, that's why we needed to make sure that we had, we don't know the area as well as you folks, but we needed to make sure we had the bridge out so that if people were to see it, from the main line, they wouldn't be suspicious. So we've had to take the bridge out. It's going to delay them a little while. You've got time to go and recover whatever you like. Really, it's absolutely stuff with stuff. If you like Shrek lanthorns, let me tell you, absolute bonanza.
You have the Shrek lanthorn.
An entire car full of them.
Oh,
Very high
Astor,
quality as well.
a great man.
I agree.
We all love Astor.
Chugga, chugga, chug, chug, chug. Riding on the rails. Toot, toot. Riding on the what?
Nothing to
The
concern yourself
greatest
with, Edvard.
innovator.
I agree. Yeah. Well, that stuff's all over there, so real quality stash over there. But you will need to rush.
They all
Also-
exchange looks and kind of just sort of nod discreetly at each other, and the leader says,
Conditional deal.
Go on.
Give us something valuable. Now. Something good.
I produce yet another bottle of whiskey, which is in an ornate crystalline bottle that looks absolutely wonderful. And
Scavenger's teetotal.
well, this is non-alcoholic whiskey.
Ah, well,
I
great.
assume.
That's hard to come by. Brilliant.
yeah, they take it. Let's say that
Tastes just like the real thing.
it is real good stuff. I'm just taking some coin away from the gang as a kind of that'll meet the complication from this very audacious boss fight resolving sway that you've done, Barnaby. Yeah, they start passing the bottle to themselves, and wave you on your way.
Happy hunting.
Yep, no worries. Take it easy.
And they climb back into their little hidey holes in a very, very creepy way.
Backwards.
Yeah, backwards and upside down. Brilliant work. I think at this point we can fast travel you back to Coleridge, the old train yard. One question: how were you getting this? So this train is now going to reverse into Volisport with one carriage.
Yep.
People will see that. Train yard officials will see that. How are you accounting for that? Are you disguising the train in some way? Is it a case of just bribery?
Can we describe it as disguise it as like a big dog? And then everyone would be like, "Oh, it's
Oh,
on
a big
train."
dog has come to town.
Yeah.
I think we got the driver and engineer. Just they seem to be on side in terms of like they're just doing it for the money.
Sure.
So how about
Get them to give an offer an
get them to be like, oh my god, the bridge is
The bridge is out. We had to rush
we
back.
had to
The
rush
fastest way
back.
to do
We
it was to
managed-
decouple the
and then we
carriage.
got
but-
harassed and.
But if you do that, then how is this
Someone's gonna want this
Someone's
locomotive
gonna want this
become off the
locomotive
books?
to be ours. Yeah, true. Okay.
Big dog.
So big dog.
I think it's
dog.
gonna
Yeah,
have to be Dumb and Dumber
Okay,
protocol.
so we'll disguise it as a big dog, and I'll say that I am Professor Hieronymus
Big
Bagshot.
dog. Hieronymus,
Big
you're
shot
Hieronymus
Bagshot.
Labrador.
Big Dog Bagshot. Professor Hieronymus Big Dog Bagshot. And I am coming to town to display my incredible new large dog.
You're going to run alternating current through it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
On the
gonna
way
be-
into town, you've had ample time to use the freight. They're freighting quite a lot of hay and sheepskins and a lot of eels that could be kind of rolled into a ball to look like a big wet nose.
Ah, tremendous, yeah. And a glossy
you-
coat, fine fettle.
Yeah, it looks
Smells a bit fishy.
in a massive tonal shift from when Walter was stabbed in the face to death. The train rolls in reverse, looking quite a lot like a great big dog. And at the freight inspection point, the warden's in charge of that. They sort of stop you and they ask you for your papers, Edvard, and say, "What's this? Some kind of great big dog?"
Yes! It's one of the greatest marvels the world has ever seen. I, Professor Hieronymus Big Dog Bagshot, am here to display this 10th marvel of the world. I assume there are 9 others.
Bagshot.
That's right.
You wouldn't be any relation to Cornelius Bagshot, that fellow what mysteriously disappeared a few weeks ago.
No? It's a very common name.
Now, this is a bit of extreme bad luck on your part, Edvard, that you picked a last name that is the same as someone who...
I don't think I was in that session.
You weren't in that session, no.
That was Zilla and Casimir.
It was
Did I
Zilla
say
and Casimir,
Bagshot?
And they sent Cornelius Bagshot out by train. So, yeah, make me a roll for this.
Did I say Bagshot? I meant Bagshow. Cornelius Bagshow.
So your name is Cornelius?
No, wait. Interesting.
You wouldn't be a relation to the Cornelius.
Bribe!
Here I-
Bribe the man!
Oh, I appear to have dropped some money on the floor, I say. Pick that up for me, would you, my good man?
How clumsy. Yes, let me just help myself to... There we go. What a wonderful big dog. I grant you joy of it, my good
Isn't
man.
it?
We will look the other way. Yeah, you have bribed your way in.
Good.
The crew is now in debt because you spent one coin with the...
Scavengers.
I'll be honest, I've not been keeping track of coins so ruthlessly, but the point where I started, you had a certain amount and you now have 0. You've been doing a lot of scores that are not profitable, but are important to your main mission. But that's okay. You're just... The coffers are empty. Just everyone just kind of make a note of that. The only thing that we have, I think, left to resolve, you now...
I've got 4 stress and 0 money.
Yeah.
I couldn't have
Sounds like
0
real life.
stress and 4
The
money.
escapism of roleplay.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now? We open the door to the train yard and a wolf attacks us. Is
No,
that-
you're done. You're out of danger. You
Right,
are
good.
in the train shed of the
Yeah.
old rail yard. This is the one that the gut cutters have control of. You can store this locomotive here until it is time for your climactic assault on this abandoned bit of track that Eleanor suspects is the location of the barricade. However,
Just as a note, we rolled all the train staff off the train before we arrived here.
that's what I was going to ask. So did you leave them in the Deathlands?
We didn't
No.
leave. We waited till we were in the city, but right on the outskirts, we just pushed them off
Yeah.
the train in a safe and
But behind
manner.
a tavern, like behind an old pub, so they think that they just got very, very drunk.
Okay.
And they're just waking up there.
Now, they were all knocked unconscious before the exploding and the bridge and stuff, right? So they will have no idea how they are suddenly back in town, but they also will not know
What's happened?
what's happened. Except
Two
for...
of them will know that the bridge is out.
Yeah, except for the driver and the stoker. The stoker was, unconscious and dizzy and stunned. I think that's fine. But the driver knows everything and saw your face, Barnaby. Was the driver also pushed out onto the tracks?
Yeah, why not?
Didn't we say we were just going to... Oh, we did say we were going to drop them off. We didn't say how. That's fine.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
He gets to push himself off. We don't actively shove him out.
We should probably say some threatening things to him.
Oh yeah.
Go on then.
Ooh. Yeah, hang on a minute.
Me.
me.
As he kind of leaves, I fire a warning shot at his feet. Because it's the rifle is Chekhov brand, so if you don't...
Hey.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to roll for how intimidated the driver was, because I think it's, again, like down to... Okay, 1, 2, 3, the driver will eventually squeal. 4, 5, 6, the driver will never tell a soul. Okay. Right, well, that's going to do it, I think, for this session. Yeah, brilliant work, everyone. You acquired your locomotive.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for playing so brilliantly, and thank you everyone at home for watching this episode of Oxventure presents Blades in the Dark. Johnny, where can people find your great work?
YouTube.com/Johnny Chiodini.
Amazing. And if you enjoyed this Oxventure presents and you want to go the optional extra mile in supporting the work we do, then you can head to patreon.com/OXClub. And join our Patreon there. There is a Discord with a dedicated Oxventure channel where you can meet and discuss with fellow-minded Oxventure likers. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.